So I've now knitted the complete mini cuff and I'm halfway through the leg section of my little sock, and you can see now how it is being constructed from the top down. And the tail that we had at the beginning is now at the top, and so it's again very clear where the end of each round appears. Just thinking about the way we're holding our needles, now that we've got a lot more fabric to work with, it's much easier for the knitting in the round, it's not quite so wobbly. When we are using our spare needle, it doesn't matter too much whether you go in over the top of the previous one or underneath. So I'll just show you the two ways. So if I go in from the top, the main thing is to remember when you knit your next stitch to bring in the yarn nice and firm so that we get a nice firm connection between the needles, and that's fine. So I then just work across with my stocking stitch, which is knitting every stitch to the end of that needle, ready to move on to my next needle. The other way to do it is to bring in your spare needle and begin underneath your needle, which is holding the stitches you've just worked, underneath, and to join. And again, firmly pulling the yarn. And then I find after a couple of stitches, I like to just move that underneath so that the working needle is back on top. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it. And after a while, you begin to find a way of holding the needles which feels most comfortable. So again, just changing the needles once more, each time just moving them into the middle if you're not working them, or moving them to the top if you want to move them, work them. And then I'm holding it underneath, knitting a couple of stitches, and then just flicking that underneath and carrying on to the end. So I'm going to carry on working this leg section until I've completed 10 rounds in total. So there was my little mini cuff, 10 rounds of leg, and then we'll be ready to start working on the heel flap.